Senator. So thank you both, Francesca and Joyce. I turn now to Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono. Senator, your view of these reports that the president, who's literally under review for obstruction, was talking to these witnesses.
Well, the chaos continues with the president and in the White House, and there are regular, practically daily, hourly revelations that point to a pattern of behavior by the president and those around him that have to do with obstruction of justice, possibly witness tampering, any number of very, very concerning behaviors. But there's definitely a pattern. I think it's hard for the president to keep track of the lies, the outright lies, and the obfuscation that he's been engaging in.
Are you suggesting that perhaps the list of lies is even longer than the list of staff departures?
Well, that's how, you know what? With so many senior people, mature people leaving the White House, Trump is left basically with himself, which is a very scary proposition for the country.
That's also a fair point. I want to play for you another Democrat who, like you, has raised some of these concerns. Congressman Adam Schiff talking about that news today with former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski.
Questions about the production of the false statement concerning the Trump Tower meeting. Questions about the firing of James Comey, as well as any discussions that Mr. Lewandowski had with the president about the potential of firing Bob Mueller. These other questions went unanswered.
That was his readout, at least, of things that they did not find out from that testimony. Your view, Senator?
Ari, this is why the Mueller investigation has to continue, has to go forward, because, as I say, there are revelations on a regular basis, and they point to conspiracy, obstruction of justice, all very concerning areas that the Mueller investigation has to get to the bottom of. And by the way, as I sit on the Armed Services Committee, it is very clear from the testimony before that committee over the last days is that the Russian interference with our elections and their efforts to really question our institutions or have people question our institutions continues. And we do not have a whole of government strategy that will enable us to counter these efforts, which are continuing. Everybody acknowledges that they are continuing, but nobody is taking the lead. And there are fingers saying that, they're saying, well, the president ultimately has to bring everybody together, but clearly he wants this investigation to totally go away.
Right, and you say that on the day when the House Republicans have said, oh, this should be their last witness after a fairly bungle-filled set of memos and other things coming out of that.
Yes.
I want to ask you about something else totally different, if we can turn from some of these national security problems that you've elucidated to something brighter, which is the contributions that women have made to American history. This is International Women's Day, as you know.
Yes.
These are a lot of issues you've led on. I wanted to get your view of that and also play for you something we put together here in thinking about this, which is some of the firsts from women throughout history. Let's take a look.
Will hold a convention in any state which has refused to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment.
The freedom to have an abortion is now legal in every state.
The U.S. Supreme Court will get its first woman member this afternoon when Sandra Day O'Connor takes her oath of office.
Liftoff of STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut.
There is no longer that big sign outside that door of the office for Vice President that says, white male only need apply.
The Honorable Nancy Pelosi of California is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
I wonder what this day means to you and what you think policy should continue to advance a year or I'd say maybe 2 years here. There's been a lot of discussion about the role of women in public life and power.
International Women's Day means a lot, not just to me, but to women all across the country and the world. And what's great is that women are coming forward in our country as well as in other countries, stepping forward to speak out and to to really stand our ground. And I want to say that in your clip, you talked about the abortion. Well, Equal Rights Amendment, Hawaii was the first state in the union to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment, and Hawaii was also the first state in the union to make abortion legal. So, you know, it's great for me to have been part of many of these firsts. When Hillary Clinton accepted the nomination, Patsy Mink, my friend and predecessor in Congress, was the first woman of color to get elected to both the House and the Senate. So we're making progress. We have 22 women in the Senate now, more than ever in the history of our country. The Me Too movement, all of this is coming to the fore, and we need to keep going because we are certainly not equal yet in terms of pay, in terms of power, but our voices are getting stronger every day, and I'm going to do my part to make sure that our voices remain strong and heard.
Senator Mazie Hirono, thank you for joining us. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Aloha.